You know what I'm here for.
Back on top, punching the clock, clutching sanity.
What's good, y'all? Happy New Year. Welcome back to the channel. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and we're going to start off the new year talking about the Chicago Bulls. I think the Bulls really need to be talked about more as being a contender in the Eastern Conference. Right now, they're currently sitting as the 1 seed, 23-10, and I think the East is pretty wide open right now. Given that Kyrie Irving's not fully back with the Brooklyn Nets, I think the East is open for the taking. I do like the Bucks. I think they're looking good, especially when their big three is playing. I think they've only lost like 2 games, maybe 2 or 3 games when they've all been on the court. But the Bulls, they've just been consistently good all season long. That's even with all the COVID outbreaks that's been going on. This organization was hit pretty bad. They had to postpone a few games because they didn't have any players. And they played games without DeMar. They played games without Zach LaVine, now Lonzo Ball, and I think Caruso are both in health and safety protocols. And they're still being able to win games without those guys. And the big part of that is DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, everybody's familiar with DeMar DeRozan, man. He's having probably the best season of his career, and I think a lot of people really forgot like how good this man is at basketball. Like when he was with the Spurs, I think people forgot like just how dynamic a scorer this guy actually is. Because when he was in San Antonio, he really developed as a playmaker. He was somebody that started throwing like 6-7 assists per game, and he was playing a lot of like power forward, and he was rebounding the ball better. Like he was doing a lot more of everything instead of just scoring the basketball, which in Toronto, that's what he was primarily known as, was a scorer. And we've seen the deficiencies in his game sometimes in the postseason, but you know, for the most part, as a #1 option, we've seen what he's been able to do. But this is a different DeMar DeRozan, man. He's seasoned, and this is probably the best year of his career. He's kind of in MVP talks. Like, we know what the top of the race is looking like. It's probably like a 4-guy race right now. But I think he deserves some recognition, especially with his team being the best in the Eastern Conference right now. Like, the man's averaging 27 points per game, 5 boards, 4.5 assists. Like, he's doing a little bit of everything. He's been a little more locked in on the defensive side of the ball too, which you like to see. I think that was the big question with this Bulls team, was how were they fared defensively, and they've been pretty good. Like the eye test shows you that they're a good defensive team. I love this team. Like they're very up and down. They get on the break a lot. When Caruso comes in, he plays really well. The Lonzo Ball effect. I'm big on Lonzo Ball's game, and his effect has been there. His numbers might be a little down from last year, but it's because he's sharing the ball with 2 guys that are averaging over 26 points per game. So he's doing that, and his assist numbers may not be high, but once again, he's sharing the ball with these guys, and he's locked in on the defensive side of the floor. He's been shooting the 3-ball at a great rate. Zach LaVine is just doing his thing, man. We know Zach LaVine, he's an all-star, he's a great scorer, but he's just doing his thing. He's super efficient this season, and he's also been better on the defensive side of the floor. And Nikola Vucevic started off the season terrible, but he's been very good over like the last 2.5-3 weeks. Also get great minutes off the bench from a 2nd-round pick in Ayo Dosunmu, who kind of just came out of nowhere as being a very good rotation player for this team. The only question mark with this team that I might have is like their big man depth is very lacking. It's lacking. Vucevic is not a rim protector. He's definitely just a positional type of dude on the defensive side of the floor, and he's not the greatest of defensive bigs in the league. I would like to see this team try and go get another big, just another big body, because they don't really have that right now. I mean, they got Tony Bradley, but look, shout out to Tony Bradley. He went to North Carolina, so I'm a fan of his. I'm rooting for him, but they could definitely use an upgrade at that backup big position. I think that could help take this team to a new level. We saw last year in the playoffs, like a team like the Phoenix Suns, which for some reason these two teams just kind of remind me of each other in some form or fashion. But we saw them once they had to go up against the Giannis, and they didn't have any big man depth behind DeAndre Ayton. It really came back to bite them. So it's important to have that backup big. I would really be interested to keep an eye on this team and see who they try and go after at the trade deadline. Maybe somebody becomes available in the buyout market. I think that's going to be a position of need for the Chicago Bulls team. And it's just crazy that before the season, they were calling like the Bulls off season bad. People thought the Bulls were going to win 40 games on the whole season. And like people said DeMar DeRozan was the worst free agent signing of the entire offseason. Those people look stupid right now. They look dumb. They look dumb as hell, bro. They look dumb as hell because DeMar's been playing at a all-NBA caliber level, and this team is the best in the Eastern Conference right now, and I think the East is pretty wide open, and I think we should be talking about the Bulls more as a contender. So let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think the Bulls should get contender status? We're about 30-something games in, so I think, I got the sample size I need for this team that I think that they can make some serious noise in the postseason. Let me know what y'all think. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.
Off season. Let's work. Hey, plotting my escape this game.